two-time winner. DW calls it quits, possibly his final trip to Bristol Motor Speedway.
Tony Stewart right now is going up high on the racetrack. He thinks that Rusty may stay behind that 9 car, that he might get a run on the outside and take the lead away from Rusty Wallace. The 9 car
just sort of diming these turns, going in low and up in the center as Bobby Hillin tries to hang on to the lead lap. He's in 32nd position.
Tony's sitting there watching and waiting. A moment ago, he had a fender up inside of Rusty. Backed off when they were working some more race traffic. Rusty being very cautious, trying to get around Bobby Hillin in the car number 9.
Here, Tony's got a run, does he? Nope, can't get down there.
Now, Tony Stewart led the most laps here last August, led 225 of 500 laps, ended up fading and finishing 5th. As you watch this battle, let's check in once again in the pits where John Kernan is caught up with Robby Gordon.
Robbie Gordon is climbing from his car. Robbie, you're okay, but a little help getting out there in the wall.
Very disappointed in David Green. I mean, I gave him the inside line nice and clean. Just didn't give me room on the exit. I guess you can't be nice around here.
You told me earlier about the lack of experience here, only about 500 laps here. Can't get the experience on the sideline, but did you learn a lot while you were out there tonight?
Yeah, we had a pretty good race car. We just wanted to survive, and, I don't feel I did anything wrong. I let the guy have a nice clean line on the inside. Just runs me in the wall on the exit. We owe him one.
Robby Gordon's thoughts as the crew pushes the car back toward the hauler.
Bobby Gordon, that team trying to get a sponsor for next year. 2 top 10s in his last 3 outings at Sears Point and Watkins Glen, but a tough one here tonight. That's the separation between Rusty Wallace and Tony Stewart. Rusty has dominated the first portion of this event, 128 laps. He has led of 140. He was our pole sitter. His 8th Bud Pole of the year. He is an 8-time winner at Bristol Motor Speedway, and he's showing the way after 141 laps are complete. Back in a moment. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, an emotional night for 53-year-old Darrell Waltrip. Gets a hug from his wife, Stevie. Tears in his eyes. His final stop here at Bristol, Tennessee. And just moments ago, this happened.
Off turn 2, Rusty Wallace gets the car just a little bit loose. Man, that was close. He decides, look, Tony Stewart has pushed me pretty hard, faster than I want to go, so Tony, go ahead, take the lead. And Tony did.
Tony Stewart, the new leader, the 3rd car to have led the night, joining Rusty Wallace and Ward Burton as leaders here.
And Ward Burton, one of the leaders, now a lap down.
Well, we saw that Jeremy Mayfield had a tire problem. John Kernan, more about that?
Jerry, it was the right front tire that went flat on Jeremy Mayfield. Here's a look at it. He was out there so long it actually ripped the tread off of it. Now, usually at this racetrack, the first thing you think is that maybe a valve stem got knocked off. But you can see both valve stems right there. Not a problem there. Peter Suspensor, his crew chief, isn't quite sure what happened. He thinks he may have run over something out on the racetrack, punctured the tire, and then it came apart as he stayed out there. But one good thing, to have an inner liner, an inside tire in this race car. You can see right here that held up, that allowed Jeremy to stay out on the racetrack. It kept him from having problems and going into the wall.
Kept him from ripping that right front fender off, John, and then he was trying to get back. There's parts of the debris. That's down out of the groove, by the way. The cars are flashing by at speeds, but it's down on the inside. Back up front, Tony Stewart now begins to work on the rear of the 44 car of Kyle Petty. The final time that Kyle Petty will drive the Hot Wheels Pontiac before turning over the reins next week at Darlington for the remainder of the year to Steve Grissom, and Kyle will go full-time for the 45, the Sprint Chevrolet, in the NASCAR Busch Series.
He's in 27th position, so now there are 26 cars on the lead lap.
There's our points leader, Benny. Not been that eventful a night thus far for Bobby Labonte, trying to hold his position. He wanted to survive a night. Right now he's just trying to hang on.
And right now he's running the 18th spot, so he's doing a good job. He's fitting on the back stretch, as Ray Dunlap has told you. That is a disadvantage, so looks like he's got a pretty decent race car. You see, started in 32nd spot. He was 25th. Then he went back to 34th after the pit stop. And now he's working his way back up to 18th.
01 car.
Now the guy second in points, just a couple of spots back, was the 88 car. Back in 20th position, there is DJ. After that spin a little bit ago, he restarted back in 34th position. Has now come all the way back to 20th spot. So this has been a pretty good racetrack for Dale Jarrett, with the exception of this race a year ago where he finished 38th, in the spring where he finished 21st. But the previous events, he's had top 5 finishes, including a win with this car here 3 years ago. 111 points of separation between Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett. 12 races remaining, 11 after tonight for the championship. Here's a car that has been running so well all night long. Sterling Marlin, remember here in the spring, he won the NASCAR Busch Series race on Saturday, but right now he is in 4th spot and looks to be gaining on Jeff Gordon. He's only 2.5 seconds behind the leader, Tony Stewart. And Dale Earnhardt has got by Mark Martin. He moves in to that 5th spot. David Green, he now is a lap down. Ooh, Mark got his car a little loose as he exited turn 4. Well, how many times have you seen that car jump in the throttle and the car just jerks sideways coming off the corner?
Especially after they run this long on a set of tires. Those tires get heated up and worn, a little grease and oil on the racetrack, and boy, when you mash that gas, you better have that thing going in the right direction. And it's hard to keep that back in from jumping out from under.
Well, what about Mark Martin, Bill Weber?
Well, Terry, Mark has the same problem that Jeff Gordon has been having. The cars are tight. They want to make an air pressure adjustment and a wedge adjustment when Martin pits. But the 6th car, Martin reported, is tight on the racetrack.
Thank you very much, Bill. As you said, that these guys are going to love to be able to get in and get some fresh tires on and make those adjustments for the cars. He was riding along with Rusty Wallace and his Miller Lite onboard camera.
And something is up with Rusty Wallace because Kyle Petty, the 44 car, just passed him. And look at Jeff Gordon and Sterling Marlin right on his back bumper.
Well, this is the longest green flag run that we've had here tonight.
Our Jimmy Dean onboard telemetry shows you the speed of Rusty Wallace. If you look out his bumper cam towards Jeff Gordon. Once he goes down the backstretch.
Now, we understand they haven't said anything on the radio about any problems.
And now he looks like he's getting away from Jeff Gordon a little bit. I don't know what might have happened. Rusty pitted on lap. Now he goes back past Kyle Petty in the Hot Wheels Pontiac. Rusty pitted on lap 51, so we're looking at about 120 laps they have on these tires.
Yeah, and he might have hit a little slick spot or something, and the car slipped with him. He said, oh, man, I got a tire going down. And he felt it out for a couple of laps, gets his rhythm back now, and back up to full speed.
And Tony Stewart, by virtue of the fact that Rusty may have backed off just a moment ago for whatever reason, is pulling away. There's a look at the Home Depot Pontiac. Bright orange and white colors for Joe Gibbs Racing and Tony Stewart. And take a look at the on-track interval continuing to grow. 2 seconds, it goes from 1 second to 2. And Rusty Wallace at 1 lap had a couple laps at 17.6. As Ricky Rudd goes by the 16 car, Kevin Page moves into the 17th position. Ricky Rudd started back in 37. Sorry, Ned.
Apparently the hammer's gone away a little bit on the 16 car of Kevin LePage. Now DJ moves to the inside to take the position, but he can't make that work.
If you watch this battle, we'll tell you there are 25 cars still on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Wally Dallenbach in the car number 75. Both these cars, as you see, battling for position for 18th. You watch from high above, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Cam. Flying high above this Rose Bowl of racetracks, Bristol Motor Speedway. Half-mile high bank facility, rimmed with 142,000 seats, and every one of them is full of a race fan watching what's happening all around.